Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so we are going to get into a specific message, and the thought process, it was kind of like two images that were in my mind. So first off, I pictured somebody who had pulled their vehicle over to the side of the road, but they were standing like overlooking a big like gully that had like a dam off in the distance. Now I've been to places like that, like out around Nevada and such. So, sometimes my brain goes for, something that I've seen before. But it was more the feeling. It was somebody who had pulled over and they were parked, and it was like, but I need to go that way, but I don't know how I do that. It's like something was dammed up, there was a question mark about what way to go. What should I do? And this person, then it was like my vision shifts and I can see that they have like a blue button up that's like, rolled up at the sleeves with, buttons like a dress shirt with a collar. My impression is that it was a man, kind of like bronzy arms. But it felt like somebody, and I feel like they were driving a truck even though I couldn't see the vehicle. So in my mind, it was more like somebody was kind of trying to decide what to do. Like, do I keep even driving this road? I'd like to find a shortcut, but obviously you can't go that way. There's a dam. Do I get back in the car and keep driving? It just felt like somebody was kind of at their wits' end, or they were asking themselves or looking for a sign, like, what do I do next? What do I do? What's the direction that I take? Is this the right path? What am I supposed to do? So it didn't feel like hopeless or helpless or anything like that. It felt like a character who was trying to decide, I need to know what the best choice is for me to make right now. What should I do? And that was really just like the statement, what should I do? Or the question. So with that in mind, actually, I do want to hold on to this one. Hi, guys. Hey, Violet, you were first in the house, love. Brittany H, Black Butterfly 25, Calm C, Ferrari, Lori. Thanks, guys. Great to see everybody. Calm C, thank you. All right. Maybe this is somebody who had a fight with somebody. Or maybe they're about to go see somebody that they had a fight with. And they're like, can I really do this? Can I go knock on their door? I mean, last time we talked, it didn't go well. What's going to happen if I literally knock on their door? Are they going to think I'm here to fight again? Are they going to be like, oh my God, I don't want to talk to you? We see this person like wrapping up in their blanket. Five, though, is a number of change. 9 of Pentacles. Let me get it. We keep seeing feminine energy, by the way. And in my impression, I thought it was a masculine. It doesn't have to be. Again, we have the door, and now we have the blank card. This is the Ace of Cups. This is a doorway that leads to fighting, or it's a doorway that leads to love, but that door could be closed. They don't know. This, like, I have no idea. It's blank. All I know is what already happened. I know that we had to have had a fight, but I don't know what would happen if what should I do? Do I go toward the person I had the fight with? What if they're good without me? What if they don't want to talk to me? What if, they're already nestled behind a closed door with somebody else very much in love? I can't tell. So this person has run out of direction. This is kind of fascinating. Let me ask this question. Why is it that this person is blank and they don't know what to do? Because I think that's an important question to ask for our character. Why are you blank? And can we get this character some identifier? Who is our character first? Okay, 10 of Swords in the reverse. They could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. They're somebody who does not want a horrible, painful ending to end in a horrible, painful way. They do not want an ending. But the ending has already happened and they cannot get over it. Okay, hang on. We just got a couple more for who they are. 6 of Wands, and then we've got that 3 of Wands sideways. And this 3 of Wands, we literally have this bird who's just a little skeleton now. And they have either a letter that they never sent, or maybe this is a passport. This is about like the future, but it's also about the past. And maybe it's like, I should have dealt with this a long time ago. My impression that what I'm building in my head is we may have a person who didn't take action when they could have course corrected this a very long time ago. This is what it starts to seem like. Why did I let something sit? I knew what action I should have taken. How come I didn't? Why was I looking for some either big success or Did I turn my attention to other things in my life, becoming, really sought after in the workforce? Did I turn my attention to being, famous, or, satisfying my ego instead of dealing with this? Because this is a painful blotch in our character's mind and on their heart, and it's never been fixed. And that was a long time ago, so much so that the message, the bird that they rely on, because birds are our messengers, I think they can't tap into their guides anymore, because their guides are like, well, screw this, we give up on you. You don't take our advice anyway. And I feel like they knew what they should have done a long time ago and they didn't do it. And so now they can't figure out where to go in the future. That's my impression right now. But now let's ask that more pointed question. So I still don't know what we'll call this person, other than, I don't know, the person who knew what they should have done a long time ago but didn't. Okay, so the underlying reason, why are you unable to figure out what to do now? Why do you feel so murky? Why do you feel like you're without, the ability to see which way to go now? We got that 6 of Cups. That's a soulmate energy. We got the 8 of Swords upright. This is one of those things where, so I'll say it like this. I have a truck and I have an SUV, and my SUV is what I typically drive. The truck is like this old beat around that I bought for a couple grand off of Craigslist, and I use it to haul stuff, right? So I don't use the truck very often. It's a nice old, manual transmission, and I love my truck, but it's, a little unwieldy. It's a gas hog, but you got to have a truck, right? So I don't drive it a whole ton. So I tend to leave things in there, and I like to always have, like, a couple pieces of candy, usually like some, lemon drops or something that I keep in a car, or some licorice or something, just because you never know when you're going to be stuck in traffic and you need a snacky, or you suddenly take a longer drive than you thought you were going to, and you just need a little sugar. But the problem is, if you don't drive your truck very often, you leave stuff in there, and it can melt and reconfigure itself over the seasonal changes. And when your candy experiences a temperature change, sometimes it oozes out and it melds itself into the plastic of your truck. Now, I have had that happen. And the only reason I'm going on about this is because this feels like, when I say, why can they not tell what they should do anymore? Why is it that they can't hear the messages from their own guides? Why are they so blank on, I don't know what to do? I know I had a fight with this person. I know I should have done something about this a long time ago. I know now that I'm thinking, I want to go to their door, but what if I go to their door and not only is their door closed, but they're in love with somebody else, or maybe they're single, but they hate me. I don't know. And I can't get a read on what is the right thing for me to do. So I'm pausing before I can move toward her, because I can't hear my own intuition anymore. And the reason they can't hear it is because they left it so long that things melted, things merged. We now have this weird mutated, fused little glob. And that's what I get off of this card. That 8 of Swords is, it's blockage, it's being stuck. And we can see that there were walls built, there was, rope involved, there was, orchid blindfolds, there's ladders. Like, this is a freaking mess. This is like when you open up your truck door one day and you find that stuff you forgot about being in there has melded and mushed, and you've got a mess now. And it's no longer individual pieces of candy. There's nothing sweet left. It's just a glob, and it's also messy. And you can't tell where one thing begins and the other one ends. And I feel like that's the best way I could describe this. They knew it was a soulmate. And normally you could read what a soulmate, like you're in sync with them, right? Because you got a soul pattern with them. But in this case, when you build those walls between yourself and another person, and you let it sit for a really long time, and you don't listen to your instinct, and you don't do what you should, things melt and deform. And I think that that's where they're at now. Andrea, you sweetie pie. Andrea, thank you, love. Aries says a huge thank you. You are so, so kind, love. Thank you. This feels like he can't hear his own intuition anymore, because it's become this crazy amalgam with this massive wall. And it's, even though he knows that it's a soulmate, he doesn't know how to tap into her energy anymore. He doesn't know how to contact her in the mental world, in the, 5D realm. He doesn't know how to connect his psychic thoughts to hers. He's lost the connection with her. But it's more than that. He walled it off. Even though he's like, but that's my soulmate. Like, of course I was still going to fix things with her. But just like I was going to take the candy out of my truck at some point, but I didn't. And now it's kaput. Okay. I don't know if he can unchisel this thing. I don't know if he can. See, he may have just let somebody else slide on in, and somebody else has fused with her at this point. This is not good. This is not good at all. Even here on the soulmate card, it's just now striking him. Oh my God, what if she's having a lemonade stand with somebody else? What if she's fused her energy to somebody else? I never even thought about that until now. Now that I'm ready to come back, I can't hear her thoughts anymore. I can't bond to her. I can't get a connection. I can't sense that she still wants me. Holy shit, what if she actually has built a life with somebody else? I don't know why this would be a shocker. If you leave somebody after a fight and you leave them high and dry and all this time passes, what do you think is going to happen? Life's going to go on. They're going to forget you. Probably they're going to heal from whatever ugliness happened, and they're probably going to love somebody else. I mean, that's what we have to do to carry on in life. That would be my impression here. So I don't think it could be a shocker to him, but Eight of Wands, you know what's so crazy? Even though he's pulling his truck over or car or whatever it is, and wondering, what do I do? God, I can't figure out if I'm supposed to go toward her. I can't hear her thoughts. I don't really know what will happen if I come back to her. This makes me think for a long time, he believed he could always come back. And now he doesn't know if he can. And now he's having that scary thought of, what if she's with somebody else? It's wild though, because that's what gets him back on the road and being like, I got to go find out. Eight of Wands. Now he's on the move again. So crazy how this thought process of like, I don't know, I can't figure this out. Oh, well, what if she's moved on? What if, well, oh my God, I need to go find out. It almost feels like there's this jealous streak that suddenly comes to the surface. Interesting. It doesn't deflate him, the idea that she might be with somebody else. He's just got to go find out. Eight of Pentacles. It's weird because it's like, and then, if I have to work on things to, fix this with her, that's what I have to go do. So he seems to be getting revved up about this idea that now I got to go know. I got to know the answer to this. So are you headed toward her now with this intensity and confidence? Oh, Fool card. Yeah, now it's like Geronimo. You know what I really don't love about this though is basically it took the idea that she's in a connection with somebody else. That's what makes him now be like, well, I'm hellbent that I'm going to go and mess that up. I know he's not thinking of it that way, but that would essentially be it. Like he can't hold himself back now. The curiosity, what's your underlying motive here? What energy are you like filled with as you're saying, oh, I have to go find out now? What is your energy on that? Is it like, oh, she belongs to me? Please bear in mind, this could be masculine or feminine energy. It doesn't matter. This could be same sex. Just be mindful of that. But in this storyline, in my impression, it was a masculine, and we have admittedly seen a lot of masculine energy on the person's side that I'm calling him. And in the specific messages, I try to be as specific as I can. We've got a lot of different images of him. Somebody who's like possibly older. They may have a lot of salt and pepper in their hair. They may be prematurely gray, but they may actually be still quite youthful in like physique and face, but their hair might have grayed out earlier in life. I feel like they're still very youthful, but when I ask, what is your like mentality as you're saying, no, I got to go find out. I got to go toward her now for sure. Six of Cups, Nine of Cups. There is some element where it's like, I think it's a bit of like intense. It's like they're picturing themselves aging now, like really aging. And what if she's not in my life? Because I always pictured I would grow old, really old with her. What if she's having some other happier life with somebody else? And I'm going to age old without her, and she's gone on and she's got this great life elsewhere. She's living her best life, and I have to like miss her for the rest of my life now. I don't think this is part of his plan. at all. And now he's got a panic settling in. See, I don't feel like he's busting in like, you know what, I'm going to win her back. She's mine, even if she's with somebody. I do not feel the confidence on this. I feel paranoia on this. Oh my God, the sick in my stomach, the bile in the back of my throat. I might end up aging completely alone, and she's living her best life with somebody else far away from me. And I don't even know what her best life looks like because I'm not a part of it. I got to sit and pine for her. I got to remember the snapshots in my head of her. Well, I don't get this breakdown though of you had a chance, you could have solved stuff with her before, but you let all this time pass. What is the underlying reason you let all this time pass, really? I know we kind of already asked it, but I guess I don't get it. King of Wands sideways. And this card is kind of interesting because it says peace for all, but he looks very stern. I don't know. I'm guessing, if things end with a 10 of swords and a 5 of swords, we know everybody got hurt. So it could be part of it is like, I'm pissed. I am bitter. Yes, I want peace and calm and I want to love her, but I'm also pissed at her right now. And I think that's very understandable, very human. There's no way that only one person was probably hurt, right? Not when you're ending things with a 10 of swords, with a 5 of swords. Like, I think everybody got hurt. And then I think that they were like, I'm still going to be with this person, but I'm pissed right now. And I'm going to stay away and I'm going to go ahead and do other things in my life to make me happy. But then I think time either slipped away. I don't know. How did so much time pass? Let's ask that question in that format. How did so much time pass? 2 of Pentacles, Temperance in the reverse. Oh, well, some things went belly up in their life. Sometimes time slips away from us because what we think is, balanced all of a sudden takes a dump on us. And we're like, whoa, I thought I had a job, a career. I thought I was going to be able to keep doing what I was doing. And, I would just be silent on this person while I was still hurt and upset with them for a month. And instead, holy smokes, the bottom drops out of things for me. My son or daughter winds up having a child maybe a little bit before any of the family expected. And I got to be there for them. And at the same time, my career goes belly up and all of a sudden I got to move. And I mean, that can wipe out a couple of years, one major life event after another. And you can lose months of your life just trying to hold life together. So a juggling act and complete, just chaos in their life, I think, ended up befalling them. And all of a sudden I'm pissed, but you're still a soulmate, we'll patch it up later, became like, I'm playing, just whack-a-mole, or, I'm kind of like in this crazy desperate mode right now. I can't think at all about relationship stuff and patching things up. And I think a lot of time passed, kind of like without them even recognizing how much. Are you aware of how much time has passed now? Because I'm thinking since you're like, I can't even feel her energy anymore. 10 of Wands, yeah, they're lost at sea. At this point, they are the cargo ship without a rudder. They are out there in the big wide ocean. There's storms. They don't have a navigation system that works anymore. And they got no clue where they are or where a safe harbor is. 10 of Wands should be like laying down obstacles, hurt, pain, drama. But this card says that's what we need to do, but look at where they're actually at right now. It would not be fun to be adrift on the ocean and have no idea where you are, and the seas are getting choppy. And they're carrying a heavy load, right? There's a lot of cargo. So I'm going to say, yeah, a bunch of time has passed, and now it's looming over them, the reality that this could all be lost. I might not be able to even get this back now that I'm ready to tap in, tune into her, because I still love her, always did, but I didn't heal anything with her. And now I can't feel her energy anymore, and I can't read what I'm supposed to do. The only thing here is, as we saw, the idea that she might have moved on and be with somebody else. He's got to know the answer to that, so he knows if he's going to age by himself and not be with her. He's got to know how bad it is, right? So I feel like it sounds kind of grim, but it feels like that's what he's going after now, to try to find out. When he thinks of her, I don't even know if he knows where she is. He might think, what if she's moved? This looks decidedly Greek to me. Maybe she's moved. Maybe she's immigrated. Maybe she lives in a different place. Maybe she lives in a different town, a different country. For all I know, what do you know about her at this point? What do you know about her? Hierophant and the Magician. Wow, he has a very good opinion of her. She's incredibly spiritual. She listens to her higher self. I think he might have even been that at one point in time they were so incredibly bonded. He might have thought she could read his mind. He sees her as very spiritual. He sees her as somebody that was very grounded, is very grounded. And when she does something, she has confident beliefs. She is not somebody who's wobbly or wishy-washy. He also sees her as both masculine and feminine and two major arcana, right? But he sees her as somebody who can kind of make anything happen. She can make magic happen. She can combine stuff he wouldn't have dreamed of, and poof, like in a puff of smoke, all of a sudden she creates something. So he has a really like impressive opinion of her. He doesn't have any negative opinions despite whatever this fight was that they had that ended with this horrible ending. I mean, a 10 of swords is horrendous. A 5 of swords is horrendous. So if you feel so much like good opinion and emotion for her, how did this 5 of swords, 10 of swords even happen? I don't get it. What happened with you two? King of Cups sideways. Well, this is interesting. He's taking full responsibility. I wasn't emotionally like, maybe I wanted things my way and I wouldn't give my emotions in return, but I wanted her to give to me. I was a little bit in the karmic energy of I want to gobble up things. I want to do things my way. I want it. Look, anytime a king or a queen goes sideways or upside down, we're talking some kind of pattern, right? A pattern that needs to be broken because we only want to see them upright. But when you go sideways or in the reverse can be like I'm intentionally causing people grief. Sideways to me is like I realize now what I was doing. It wasn't intentional at the time, but yikes, I can look back and see I was probably really tough to deal with. I was selfish, especially about my emotions. I feel like he wanted her and he also wanted to still act like he was single. He wanted somebody to fawn over him, love him, give him all the kind of security in the world. But he might have still been like, yeah, I want to be in a relationship, but I'm also going to take off and take a single person's vacation. But I want her waiting for me. I want to call every night and she better be there to answer the phone kind of thing. Like that's real selfish, giving no security in return, but expecting it for yourself. But it's not like I'm manipulating and forcing or feeling so entitled to it. It's more like, well, that's what I crave. I want to do these wonderful, fun things, but I also really want to be with this person that I care about, who, I think so highly of. But it's like there was a disconnect that you can't have it both ways. We've got a 3 of swords. For whatever reason, them being in this weird selfish mode, it feels like they were old enough to know better, okay? Because we got them as a salt and pepper, but they were still harboring some wound that they might have carried around for like 25 years. This could have been super immature. And I'm sorry to say that because, who am I to judge somebody and how long it takes them to heal? But this almost, I'll just give a scenario because, again, these are the specific messages. So I'll say what I'm really thinking here. I feel like this is a person who once upon a time had somebody treat them like crap, like in their 20s. They get into their 40s, 50s, and they still remember that one person who insulted them, broke their heart. They kind of got a chip on their shoulder, like, that's why I don't have to give too much to anybody else on earth, because you know what? I've been heartbroken before. Sometimes people don't treat me so good. Well, this one person didn't. They might have talked about an old boyfriend or girlfriend who broke their heart, and it's like, can you freaking let that go yet? Like, I mean, how many years? You're going to harbor that for 25 years? So that gives you permission then to never be really, truly good to another person because somebody did you dirty once upon a time. Well, newsflash, we all get done dirty sometimes. It does not give you a right to go out and be less than 100% wonderful to the next person who did not harm you. It just, this, I feel like they're the ones admitting this, okay? They're the ones saying I was really wrapped up in my perceived pain and I was really not open to giving and it was immature. Why is he super young here and quite old here? He's noting that this was an immaturity on my part. This is not the way to behave. Okay, so he does take a lot of accountability for what went wrong in the past. What led to a fight even was his own immaturity. Okay. But still pausing and saying, I can't feel her energy anymore. All this time has passed. Oh my God, am I really going to age into my golden years without her? Oh my God, what if she's with somebody else? It kind of shocks me, though, that he never considered that would be the case until just now. All this time that you were distracted and the bottom fell out of your life, and now you're just now ready to come back around and be like, wow, that soulmate, I really want that soulmate that I was pretty irresponsible with the way I treated them in the past, led to a demise of the connection. But oh my God, what if she's moved on and with somebody else? I'm just kind of like, did you never really think about her in all this time? Nine of Wands. They thought of her, but from a distance. And they always thought of her because remember, they did respect her. They think highly of her. They think she's powerful. They see her as a double dose of major arcana. It's hard to think of somebody who's really strong as somebody who would need something from them. So she was a safe harbor. She's their lighthouse. Somehow they took for granted that she was going to be like in a place where whatever thought was on like their mind about her, they never considered it through her lens, right? They were the ones who were wounded. Remember, they were the ones who behaved in a selfish manner or immature manner in the past. It would be really hard when you consider yourself to still be, harboring some righteous hurt or pain that gives you a chip on your shoulder. Like you don't really have to play by the same rules that all the rest of us on earth do, which is don't harm each other. Don't be unkind to each other. If someone's unkind to you, don't pass it along to the next person that never did you dirty. But he didn't quite play by those rules. And then on top of it, he thinks she's super powerful, super like grounded, super almost like impervious to hurt or pain. So in his mind, when I say, but did you ever think about her in all this time while you were still pissy and then too busy with other things in your life, and then bottom drops out, and then finally you're just now cycling back to thinking about the supposed soulmate? Did you ever think about her in the meantime? And it says, yeah, but I thought of her as my lighthouse. So this feels very, very, very selfish to me. I cannot say that I enjoy this story at all. High Priestess, you know what? I'm wondering if this is what she came to the conclusion of also. Yeah, intuitively, I know he thought I was real strong. I know maybe he had conflict with me because I had an expectation that he would be an equitable partner. But then he kind of thought he didn't have to play by the same rules that the rest of the world does. I know he thought I was somehow like, it almost feels like a juvenile, like high schoolers want to stick it to the man, and there's that era of life where all high schoolers are, everybody older than them is like an old fuddy-duddy and they're stupid and they just want to put down rules. And the high schoolers are like too cool to have rules applied to them because they're sexy, they're young, they know everything, and they're just going to be these like young bucks that do whatever they want. I get some of those power dynamics here. Like they looked at her as really powerful, really amazing, and somebody that they wanted, but they also kind of had like a chip on their shoulder, like I don't need to listen to you. Stick it to the man. I don't know. It feels like that's the best way I could describe this vibe that I'm getting off of this. It's very unattractive. I mean, exceptionally unattractive. So let me just bounce over and ask just about her for a moment. She may be a high priestess. She may be highly intuitive. Three of Swords, it hurt a lot. What happened in the past hurt a great deal. Could have been quite devastating, in fact, because it's like, yikes, who acts like that? Six of Pentacles. And then I think she found somebody else to heal her heart. I think she found other people, other things to give her life to, her energy to. She has not been living her life alone. From what I can tell, she decided, wow, King of Wands upright, Four of Wands. She may actually be married. She may have moved on and had a very happily ever after. She may be in the midst of a happily ever after, or she may have just recently started to meet somebody that she's picturing as a happily ever after. Somebody warm, somebody stable, somebody wonderful. This kind of feels, because we haven't walked through the gateway yet on this card, it almost feels like if they're about to show back up in her world, when they knock on her door, her blue door, this lumberjack just might answer the door, or some very lovely person just might answer the door and be like, I'm sorry, who are you looking for? Yeah, she's here, babe. Somebody's here to see you. Like, I could totally picture like these, whatever has changed in her life is amazing. It's been blossoming. And this was weird because if you look, the transfer of, sharing of coins from one hand to the next is about to happen, but hasn't yet. We can see the intention here. So I'm wondering if she's only recently just met somebody and it's like, wow, this person's great. This new individual in my life, God, I could see forever with this person. I'm wondering if she's this close to, she's recently met somebody or is on the cusp of meeting somebody. And even here, the little lizards above are like leaning toward each other. Up above, the iguanas are like headed toward each other. And that's when this King of Cups shows back up. This person from long ago and far away, the person in the blue button-up shirt, the person who's drinking some liquid courage, maybe to come in and see her. Somebody who, keep in mind, we already saw them as the King of Cups. Here they're in a wetsuit, admittedly, but this is them as the King of Cups sideways. Now they want to be the King of Cups upright. I think they're going to get a very rude awakening on this. I think that this is, I kind of think it's too late. Let me get one more card here. And that's the Justice. And that is a wrap. We are not even going to push any further on this. This whole storyline had to play out because in this case, and I know we leave it on like a whoa, tough note, but these cards came out the way they came out. The justice in all of this is that they show up just in time to see who she's ending up with that's really going to be good to her, loving, somebody who probably wouldn't do that whole drama that played out. And what I hope is that although, this is karmic justice, right? I literally think that they're going to meet the man that she is now with. And I think it's maybe maybe they have a drink after that. I don't know. But it may be because they need to realize, like, the way you behaved so entitled and like you were the only person on earth that mattered and you can act however you want, even towards somebody that you love. That isn't how it works. You can do anything, but there will be repercussions for what you do in life. And I think this is the universe giving them that very important lesson that says, of course, you have free will. You can treat anybody however you want. You have the desire and the choices to make. Just know that your choices end up writing your life story. And so his life story is she's writing a new book with somebody else. And this is the end of the road for him. He does not end up with her. She ends up with this cat. I kind of think that's maybe the best way that the storyline could have gone, only because I didn't really see there was any growth in him at any point in time throughout this whole story. It always seemed kind of like he was always me number first, me number one. It was always more about him, his comfort, his hurt, his needs. Oh, what if she's with somebody? Well, I got to go find out. Am I not going to end up with her? Am I going to know that she's my soulmate, but she's having happiness elsewhere? It almost feels though like maybe his drive to go find out is a good thing, because it's kind of like he's facing his own karma. He's going to realize she's moved on with somebody else and is happy with somebody else. And that might be what he needs so that he understands the lesson that he kind of put his own self through. Hang on. I got to ask one last question on that. Why is it that in this story, he needs to actually see it for himself, face it? Ace of Wands. It's weird because you notice how we have, I just want to say, my, how the tables do turn, right? Because we have this chair with the candle on it, and we have, in this case, this is her, like, sending out a prayer that was not answered. He stayed away, even maybe during time when she really needed him. Maybe her most fervent prayer was, I really need this person. How could we have had this big of a blow up? How is it that they don't feel a connection to me and know, especially, that this was something worthy of saving, or whatever this is? It looks like her prayers were not answered. He stayed away, way off in the distance. And I think to realize that maybe it needed to click for him, to see her happy with somebody else who treats her really well. A King of Wands is going to be warm and wonderful. And if he's able to see, oh my God, that's what she needed. She wasn't just some lighthouse. She was not my safe haven. She needed something too that I didn't provide to her. I wasn't there for her. Maybe he needs to have that reality check, because ultimately that's what this boils down to. Especially if you love somebody, it ain't all about you, babe. You better care about them too, right? And I think he never had that so visible in his face before, that, oh my God, I never thought about what she might have needed and I wasn't there for her. And now I see a man that is there for her. I'm hearing that song. I think it's Tracy Lawrence. You look so good in love. Um, you want him. It's easy to see. You look so good in love. How I wish you still wanted me. Andrea, thank you so much, sweetheart. Oh my God. You are so kind. Thank you, Andrea. Again and again, sweetheart. Thank you. Please bear in mind, like I said before, this could be the exact reverse role. This could be a feminine who did this to a masculine. This could be same sex couple that, played this drama out. It just, we step back and we just see the bigger picture here. And it's like, when you're not there for the person that you profess to love and you leave them high and dry, guess what? They move on with somebody else who can love them the way you couldn't, because you were in your own way, or you were too egotistical, or you made it all about you. That is ultimately what lost this connection for him. But he did have to come back and see it. It's a little bit like, what's that? Like the Ghost of Christmas Past, or the Jimmy Stewart movie, where he goes and he sees what the world would have been like. In this case, it's kind of like, not what would the world have been like if you weren't here, but rather what happened because you weren't here. Look at how the world has changed because you didn't play a role with the person that was your own soulmate. So they belong to somebody else now. Tough story, but honestly, I'm kind of like really thrilled that we don't have like, oh, and then they get back together. I'm actually really glad that that's not the way the storyline went. I love that song too, Calm Sea. Walk Away Joe. Thank you so much, you guys. Andrea, again, thank you so much, sweetheart. That was incredibly generous. Hi, Deb. Sarah J, thank you for reminding me. Thank you guys so much for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I really appreciate you. Black Butterfly, hey. Ken Ramey, wonderful to see you, Ken. Thank you. Rachel's Magic, wonderful to catch you, love. Andrea does have a little poochie. Anishta Chatu. Andrea, what is your little pooch there? What's your doggy? Particularly, I love to know people's pets' names. Is that weird? I always want to know people's pets' names. Janet, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Let me scroll back. Oh, from Andrew. Your doggy's name is Andrew. Sorry, I had to go back. It's really hard for me to, my eyes scan the comments, but I don't like process very well until I can just read one message at a time. Thank you so much. Tell Andrew we said thank you, particularly Mr. Aries, that his cousin will say that they've got to be cousins. That is so sweet. Andrea, thank you again. Deep Blue Night Thoughts. Thank you, love. Hey, Tasha. That's cute. Kate Cloud 9, wonderful to see you. Jessica H. Co-create with me too. Good to see you. Nikki O, wonderful to see you, love. Slate Princess. Cecilia, love that. Amy J. Wright, awesome to see you. Living Water. Thank you again, Deb. Nora A. Rare Lestrange, awesome to catch you in the house. Hey, Sam Juanita. Carl and Lulu, I hope you guys are having a great Friday night. Hi, Miriam. Hey. I had really good news today. I should mention I got the results back from Aries liver enzyme blood draw yesterday. He has the best numbers we have ever seen in all 4 years of his doggy life. We're not perfect yet, but we're only 20 points off. We've never been this good before. So I am like, I feel like that happy drain of like everything is so much better. Yesterday we had an appointment with his vet, and it's been like almost a year of like really altering diet and trying a couple different protocols. And this, I could tell there was something different in the last month, and I was like, please let this be a real change. Please let this be a real change. And sure enough, the blood work reflected that. So I have been like kind of floating on air, even though it's been a crazy busy day, but I've been so happy to hear from the vet, and we got such great news. So anyway, it's a really, really good Friday in my mind. But thank you guys very much for being here. And thank you to everybody who hung out with us last night. Also, doing some live card pulls and such. It's just great because this is the week that I got Aries 4 years ago. And so it's just good to finally have my tough little dog good on the inside now, too. Righteous Magic, thank you. You sweetheart, thank you. Artemis Oracle, thank you, love. Definitely. I think we've actually reached the right protocol for him. It was always a digestive issue and a liver issue because, you know, the two, it was actually, the vets were like, well, it's one causing the other or the other causing this one. So which is it? And we've been trying to nail it down, and we really focused more on nutrition first and then some supplements specifically for the liver, and collectively everything seems to have improved. I mean, so dramatically. I cannot believe it. So it's been a long road. I've been stressed out for a year, for a year, but a lot better. Wonder T, Dolly, wonderful to see you. Shout out to you in Dubai. Jessica H, love that. Yes, we do live and learn. You are so sweet, Wonder T. Wendy E, good to see you too. Thank you. Thanks, Amanita. All right, you guys, I'm going to bounce over to the other channel, and we're going to do a single storyline over there also, okay? Patricia, thank you. Shout out to you in Portugal. Besos. All right, guys, I'll see you in a few over there. Thank you again for incredible generosity. Andrea, Rach, thank you guys so much. All right, I'll see you on the other side.